Very good morning, ninth class. Today we will cover Digi class for your Geography Chapter 3, that is Drainage, जहाँ पे हम अपने river system को समझेंगे. ठीक है.
This river belongs to us. It starts in our state. No, this river belongs to us. It ends in our state. Men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. We need a dam here. Absolutely not. We will not let you build the dam. Men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. As you know, a river determines its course based on the geographical features of the land in which it flows. During its course, a river is joined by small streams or brooks from various directions. The streams that join the main river are called tributaries. The main river, along with its tributaries, is called a river system. The term drainage describes the river system of an area. The land area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin. Elevations in the land, such as mountains or uplands that separate two drainage basins, are called water divides. The river and its tributaries within a drainage basin form various patterns. Based on various factors such as the slope of the land, underlying rock structure, and climatic conditions. Such patterns are called drainage patterns or drainage systems. River systems can form four major types of drainage patterns: the dendritic pattern, the trellis pattern, the rectangular pattern, and the radial pattern. Let's now learn about each of these patterns in detail. Dendritic patterns form when the river system follows the slope of the land. This pattern is called the dendritic pattern because the tributaries joining the main river resemble the branches of a tree. When the tributaries join the river at approximately right angles, the trellis pattern is formed. This pattern develops in areas where hard and soft rocks exist parallel to each other. A rectangular pattern develops on a strongly jointed rocky terrain. When streams flow down in different directions from a central peak or dome-like structure, the radial pattern is formed. A combination of several patterns may be found in the same drainage basin. The drainage patterns in India are mainly controlled by the broad relief features of the country. Based on the patterns formed by river systems, Indian rivers are divided into two major groups: the Himalayan Rivers and the Peninsula Rivers. Himalayan rivers originate from the melted snow of the lofty mountains of northern India. These rivers also receive water from the rain. As the Himalayan rivers receive water from these two sources, they never run out of water. Hence, they are perennial by nature. In other words, they contain water throughout the year. During their upper courses, the Himalayan rivers perform intensive erosion and carry huge amounts of silt and sand. In their middle and lower courses, they form depositional features in their floodplains, such as meanders, oxbow lakes, and well-developed deltas. The Himalayan rivers are joined by large and important tributaries during their long course from the source to the sea. The Western Ghats form the main water divide from which most of the Peninsula Rivers originate. Most of these rivers flow eastwards and join the Bay of Bengal. Very few Peninsula Rivers flow west and join the Arabian Sea. Some Peninsula Rivers originate in the central highlands and flow towards the Bay of Bengal. Most of the Peninsula Rivers are seasonal, as their flow is dependent on rainfall. During summer, even large rivers have reduced water flow. Compared to the Himalayan rivers, the Peninsula Rivers have shorter and shallower courses. Their drainage basins are also comparatively smaller in size. Recall what you've learned and identify other points of distinction between the two river groups. Click the Continue button to verify your answers. Did you know that the Nile is the world's longest river? Can you name some of the longest rivers of the Indian subcontinent? Share your answers with the rest of the class. Click the Continue button to proceed. The Indus is one of the longest rivers flowing through India, with a length of 2,900 kilometers. The Brahmaputra is another long river flowing through India, with a length of 2,948 kilometers. The Ganga is also one of the longest rivers, with a length of 2,510 kilometers. The Indus, Brahmaputra, and Ganga are the three major Himalayan rivers. Let us now learn about these three river systems. The river Indus rises in Tibet near Lake Manasarovar. Flowing west, it enters the Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir. In Kashmir, it is joined by tributaries such as Zanskar in Kargil, Nubra and Shyok in Baltistan, and Hunza in Gilgit. After this, the Indus emerges from the mountains of Attock and is joined by the rivers Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. Near Mithankot in Pakistan. Beyond this, the Indus flows southwards and joins the Arabian Sea east of Karachi. The headwaters of the Ganga, called the Bhagirathi, originate in the Gangotri Glacier and are joined by the Alaknanda River at Devaprayag in Uttaranchal. At Haridwar, the Ganga emerges from the mountains onto the plains. The river Yamuna rises from the Yamunotri Glacier in the Himalayas and flows parallel to the Ganga. On its course, the river Yamuna is joined by its tributaries, Chambal and Betwa, which originate in the peninsular uplands. The Yamuna joins the Ganga in Allahabad as a right bank tributary. The Ghagra, the Gandak and the Kosi rivers rise in the Nepal Himalaya and join the Ganga as tributaries in Bihar. The river Sone, which is the largest southern tributary of the Ganga, originates in Madhya Pradesh and joins the Ganga in Bihar. Enlarged with the waters from its tributaries, the Ganga flows eastwards till Farakka in West Bengal, where it bifurcates. The west distributary, called the Bhagirathi Hooghly, flows southwards and joins the Bay of Bengal. The main stream flows southwards into Bangladesh and joins the Brahmaputra. The combined river called the Meghna flows into the Bay of Bengal and forms the Sundarban Delta. The Brahmaputra rises in Tibet towards the east of Lake Manasarovar, near the source of the Indus. In China, the Brahmaputra is known as Tsangpo. The Brahmaputra flows eastwards, parallel to the Himalayas. On reaching Namcha Barwa, it takes a curve and enters India in Arunachal Pradesh. Here it is called the Dehang and is joined by the tributaries Dibang and Lohit. Beyond this, it enters Assam as the Brahmaputra and proceeds on to Bangladesh, where it joins the Bay of Bengal. Did you know that the Western Ghats are not true mountains, but were formed as a result of volcanic eruptions on the western edge of the Deccan Plateau? Many peninsular rivers rise from the Western Ghats. You have already learnt about peninsular rivers. Do you know the names of the major peninsular rivers? The major peninsular rivers are Narmada, Tapi, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri. Here is a cue sentence that you could use to remember the names of peninsular rivers. Naughty Timmy grinned at his mother after knocking down the kettle. Note that the starting letters highlighted in the cue sentence are the same as the starting letters of the names of the rivers. Easy to remember, isn't it? Apart from these major rivers, Subarnrekha is a smaller peninsular river which joins the Bay of Bengal. Let us now learn about the major peninsular rivers in detail. The Narmada rises in the Amarkantak hills in Madhya Pradesh. During its course towards the west, the river creates many picturesque locations, such as the Marble Rocks and Daudhar Falls. The Narmada flows through parts of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat before joining the Bay of Bengal. The total length of the Narmada is about 1,290 kilometers. The tributaries of Narmada are very short and join the river in right angles. Can you guess the name of the drainage pattern formed by the Narmada? Can you guess the name of the drainage pattern formed by the Narmada? The Tapi rises in the Satpura ranges in the Betul district of Madhya Pradesh. The Tapi flows parallel to the Narmada. It drains parts of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Gujarat and then joins the Arabian Sea. Its total length is about 720 kilometers. Did you know that the river Tapi is also called by other names such as Tapati, Tapi, Tapti and Tapi? The narrow coastal plains between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea give rise to various short rivers. The main west-flowing rivers are the Sabarmati, Mahi, Bharatpura and Periyar. The Godavari rises from the slopes of the Western Ghats in the Nasik district of Maharashtra. It drains a major part of Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, after which it joins the Bay of Bengal. The Godavari is the largest peninsular river, with a length of about 1,500 kilometers. Due to this, it is also called as Dakshin Ganga. The Godavari is joined by major tributaries such as the Manjra, Wainganga and Penganga, and also other minor tributaries such as the Purna, Wardha and Pranhita. The Mahanadi rises in the highlands of Chhattisgarh. It drains the states of Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Orissa and finally joins the Bay of Bengal. Its total length is about 860 kilometers. Its major tributaries are the Brahmani and Baitarni. The Krishna rises from a spring near Mahabaleshwar. It flows through Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh to reach the Bay of Bengal. Its total length is about 1,400 kilometers. The Tungabhadra, Koyana, Ghatprabha, Musi and Bhima are its main tributaries. The Kaveri rises in the Brahmagiri range of the Western Ghats. It flows through Karnataka and Tamil Nadu and joins the Bay of Bengal in Kadalur, Tamil Nadu. Its total length is about 760 kilometers. Its main tributaries are the Amravati, Bhavani, Himavati and Kabini.